So today we're going to be talking about value in painting, and value is one of the most essential elements of painting. The lightest lights and the darkest darks and all the little variations in between. And so they inform shape and form and light in our paintings. And so value is so crucial and so important to painting. So if you have a wonderful composition and a great color scheme all planned out for your painting, if you're lacking a good value plan, your painting will fall flat because value is that important. So we're just gonna hop inside and we're gonna break it down, and it's going to be really simple and easy to understand, I promise, by the end of this video. So the first thing we're going to look at here is the grayscale and value finder. So what it does is it just shows you from number 1 to number 10, the darkest dark to the lightest light. So number 1 is going to be black and number 10 is going to be white. And then it shows you every value in between. Okay, and so these are standard in art. Now, the problem comes in when we're starting to work into color. But these are very readily available online, and I will link in the description box where you can purchase these. They're very inexpensive. Now, if you already have this color wheel, which I recommend all the time on my other videos, you already have this color wheel. Okay, so on this front part of the color wheel, this same value scale is on the front of the color wheel itself. So you'll see black as number 1, moving all the way across to value 5, and then picking up again and going all the way to value 10. So you'll still have that same value scale on this color wheel, and it will show you the same information as you have here. So you can see these same values are located with the same colors, the same intensities on this as they are on the value finder. Okay, so if you have this, you probably don't need this. So that's another thing. Now I want to talk about value in color, okay? And so what this is, and I really wish that I'm going to have to do a little research. I'm going to link to both of these in the description box where you can purchase them if you don't have this or this. This I wish I could still get. Now this, I purchased it used. It was published in 1977. It's a whole kit. It came with a color wheel. It's called Grumbacher Color Compass. And it had a whole bunch of things inside of it, like a color wheel and other things. But what I love about the back is it has the value scale in all the primaries, secondaries, and tertiary colors. So in my last video, we went over just basic color theory. We talked about primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors, which are the third colors that we mix from secondary and primary colors. So in this color wheel, we have the pure color, the color you start with right in the center, and then the tints, which are any color plus white, in various values, working their way up to the lightest value, and then in shades. So we're adding black to these ones that are the darker values. So you're starting with a pure color, and then you're adding a little black, a little more black, a little more black, and a little more black, till we get into the darkest values. So we've done that with every single color. So you're doing it with the primaries red, yellow, and blue, and then you're doing it with your secondary colors violet, green, and orange, and then you're doing red, violet, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, violet. So this is a fabulous resource, and so I'm gonna try to see if something like this exists, and if so, I will link to it in the description box. Now I have my little pad here, and I've painted the 3 primaries in acrylic, and I have my value finder here. Now, taken out of the context of a picture with no other information, I even find this really difficult as far as looking at the 3 colors and determining where that they would fall on the value scale. It's a lot different when you're looking at a photograph, or you're looking at a painting, or you're looking at an image of some sort, even an abstract painting, because you'll have a frame of reference, right? But I'm going to show you a trick. So just looking at this, you know, maybe I would say this is the lightest value, this is more of a mid-range value, and the blue is going to be the darkest value. That's, you know, just my take on looking at all 3 of them, and I'm just telling you that I haven't done any work at looking at them yet. So I'm thinking that this blue is maybe a 3 or a 4, and then the yellow is maybe a 7. Should write it down. And the red is maybe going to come in around a 6. So now we're going to use just the technology on our phone and put everything into black and white, okay? And now you're going to see how easy it is to find the values. So I'm going to go over each color. We're starting with red, and we're going to just go over the values with the value finder. And it makes it so easy to find these values. So I was really wrong just because I have no frame of reference here. This was about a 4, which is really surprising. The yellow was about an 8. I think I said it was going to be a 7. I can't remember. And I was really surprised at how dark the blue was, which came in around a 2. So it was almost the darkest value. So using our cell phone to take a picture is one of the tricks that I always use kind of towards the end of my painting process. I always put my paintings into black and white to check my values. It's an important tool. Here I'm going to show some examples of master paintings with strong value plans. This is Edward Munch, and in the color version, it's really easy to see how light the foreground, the figure is in comparison to the dark values in the background, and also the mid-range tones at the top of the page. When we pop it all into black and white, a lot of the little mid-range values disappear, and you can really see the contrast between the lightest values and the darkest values. So it really clarifies things when we put it into black and white. This next painting is by Milton Avery, and again we have a very strong value plan with the figures in the foreground being the lightest values. Now this is two ladies in bathing suits, which are really hard to see because the values are so light. They're probably at the beach on a deck overlooking rocks and the ocean. Just a really beautiful painting. We're going to pop that into black and white and clarify it even further. And you can see how much that does clarify the value plan for us. And that is a major tool when we're learning to see values. So this is a little painting that I did a while back. It is really simple. It has four main values in it. But what I'm going to do is the basic, easiest way to start learning values is to get a very simplified, either a photograph or a painting, and break it down into two values. So what I'm going to do is put this into black and white, and I'm just going to do two values, black and white. So I'm going to turn all my mid-range values into white, and everything that's really dark is going to be black. My favorite trick is to just squint as you're looking at the picture, and everything that pops out as a light value is going to be white, and everything that looks dark is just going to be black. Super simple. So now I'm going to just simply paint this again. I've drawn it onto my a little piece of watercolor paper, and I'm just going to do this in black and white on my paper. So I'm gonna just do a quick job here and just go over this painting with watercolor and do a quick version of it in simple black and white. Creating a small black and white value study without any detail or anything like that is called a notan, N-O-T-A-N, and it is a tool that artists use to create a quick value study. In the next clip, I created a 4-value study in color using red, white, and black. Because this is a very simple composition and it only had the 4 values, this is also an easy way to practice values. Just get a simple composition with a simple value plan, and you can do it in color just using tints and shades. In this study, I used the pure hue for the flower. I created a lighter tint for the leaves, and then a very dark shade for the background, and a lighter shade for one of the leaves as an accent. Even though this was done monochromatically, it's still reading in a very dynamic way because of its strong value plan. Concentrating on values and doing a few simple studies can really help you bring your art practice to the next level. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, as it really does help my channel grow, and I really do appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for being here, and please come again soon.